Hello, my name is Sienna Chavez, and this is my A Time for Choosing Speech Teach project. The speaker is Ronald Reagan, who was a Hollywood actor, motivational speaker, and 40th President of the United States. He was also Governor of California and a Republican Party member. The purpose of the speech is to explain to America the social and economic injustices the government has brought in the country thus far and stress how America should return to maintaining a small government in order to achieve liberty for all people. It is also to have the people of America self-reflect in what they can contribute to the nation's future as a whole versus a siloed means. The audience is the nation or the citizens of America. The context is 1964 during the U.S. presidential election in Los Angeles County, California. He was driven to speak on the lack of economic freedom in the U.S. as well as fight for the individual liberty in America. He was chosen to speak on behalf of Republican candidate Barry Goldwater, and he's also driven to speak to show citizens his beliefs on what America's government should look like and how the future of the nation should look. For organization, in paragraphs 1 through 3, he describes how our nation has strayed from its intended for the people-based government. In paragraphs 4 through 6, he describes how the current system of government has not been beneficial for the liberty of the people and the strength of the country's economic freedoms. Paragraphs 7 through 10, he shows good decisions on behalf of the nation versus bad ones that breaks the morals America is built upon. In paragraphs 11 through 13, there is a shift where he convinces the people to self-reflect on their beliefs and have courage to take a stand to gain security and economic stability in the future. Finally, in paragraph 14, there is another shift, and he describes how the good of the future depends on how the people change it. For devices, Ronald Reagan uses effective allusion, figurative language, and rhetorical questions throughout his speech to establish his purpose. First, for allusion, in Reagan's speech, he begins paragraph 4 with, "You and I are told we must choose between a left or right," which alludes to the common left-right political spectrum used among society. By mentioning this political tool, Reagan is able to show his audience how the ideology of the nation has blinded people from truly seeing and understanding their individual beliefs, and how the system is masking their intentions of hindering liberty. Next, for figurative language, Reagan states in paragraph 12, "We are faced with the most evil enemy mankind has known in his long climb from the swamp to the stars." By personifying mankind from a swampish creature to a celestial being, Reagan is able to explain how the nation has been working its way up to achieve liberty for all, but in order to carry on, society must wake up and see the true adversary in this ongoing race, the totalitarianism raging in the government. This use of figurative language represents the political system's intentions as a roadblock to the freedoms we inherited. Finally, for rhetorical question, Reagan asks his audience, "Are you willing to spend time studying the issues, making yourself aware, and then conveying that information to family and friends?" By asking his audience to take action on several critical points, Reagan has laid down the gauntlet for a foundational plan to better the nation through self-reflective awareness. This symbolic call to arms is designed to motivate his audience to participate in the formation of self-government versus being governed by the minority intellectual elite. For appeals, his allusion statement, stating, "You and I are told we must choose between a left or right, but I suggest there is no such thing as a left or right," appeals to ethos and logos, which describes the current political system and its faults. For personification, where he quotes, "We are faced with the most evil enemy mankind has known in his long climb from the swamp to the stars," describes the appeal's logos and some pathos, appealing to the scientific process of evolution, as well as calling for people to positively rise instead of negatively devolving. Finally, for rhetorical question, quotes, "Are you willing to spend time studying the issues, making yourself aware, and then conveying that information to family and friends?" It describes pathos. He describes an emotional plea to spark action in his audience. For the tone, he demonstrates an admonitory tone where he quotes, "If some among you fear taking a stand because you are afraid of reprisals from customers, clients, or even government, recognize that you are just feeding the crocodile hoping he'll eat you last." And a projective tone. He states, "You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We will preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we will sentence them to take the first step into 1,000 years of darkness."